What are the neural correlates of attention without consciousness? So attention without consciousness, over the last two videos, using blind side and also normal subjects, behavior evidence seems quite solid. It's established, it seems. But then the next question is, how can we study the neural correlates of attention modulation of objects that subjects do not see? What are the methods that researchers use to make objects invisible? So that's necessary to study this, attention without consciousness, and also at the same time manipulate their attention. So one of the most clever experiments on this regard was invented by Bahadur Barami in 2007. And he also again used a CFS experiment, but combined that with attentional manipulation. Here, what Bahadur did was to present to, again, dominant eye, this continuous thrust suppression images. So he used a line drawing of many different types and then presented it one at a time, 100 milliseconds, and then flashed it many, many times. And that was presented at the 4 locations simultaneously, and that's what you see on the display. And then, unbeknownst to the subject, he presented the object image, like here, a bench, and here iron. And then other locations, it may be difficult to see here, but it's a version of the stimulus that is scrambled. So in terms of the pixel numbers, that is dark or not dark, these 4 locations have the same stimulus energy. Okay, and it's either top left, bottom right kind of pair, or top right, bottom left pair. So subjects didn't know, but they were presented with this kind of stimulus. Okay, and then the critical thing in this experiment was to add this third component, left eye, right eye, and then both eyes saw this central letters here N, white N, but over the time, Bahadur presented either W, N, or T, Z, Z, T, W, and so on. That was either black or white. Okay, and then he asked subjects to count or press a button when the number, some kind of target appears. And then in the case of the low load condition, when attention is not necessary, he would just ask, count the number or press a button when they see the T, regardless of the color. So it's like here, it's very easy, in fact. And then, you can be accurately, reporting number of the T's. On the other hand, high load condition is requires some kind of a conjunction of the features. So it will be like white N and black Z. So you have to discard one feature, like a letter identity, but also combine that with a color feature, black or white. And so this kind of, a conjunction of the letter feature is known to suck up your attention quite a bit. And then the critical advantage of this task is that both attended and unattended in this high load or low load condition, you can present exactly the same stimulus to the subject, right? But what is different is what the subject is trying to do, either to count something that is easy or something very difficult. So all the brain processing that goes on from I to the LGN to V1 and so on, and in terms of stimulus input, it's all the same in both conditions. But somewhere in the brain that changes this, attentional set makes a difference. And where is it? That's the question. And presumably, because stimulus is all, invisible, whatever it is, it has to operate at the level of the non-conscious. Okay, so that's the clever task design. And then, so the key here, another key is that manipulated the consciousness through CFS and manipulated attention about deltas, that was done, orthogonally, right? By removing this continuous thrust suppression, he could do the task without, suppression visible. And then again, under both conditions, subjects are possible to only report about center. So, peripheral could be completely irrelevant. So those two things can be completely independent to each other. Okay. So then what are the neural correlates? The first thing is the phenomenology and localization performance, right? So basically with this CFS experiment, they made sure that nothing is visible. Basically, it's just a random lines. That's what they see. And then nobody noticed about the object itself in this location. And localization accuracy, if they were even asked to say either this or that, it's always 0.5, meaning the chance performance. And that is the same, either subjects are doing the low load task or high load task. It's just, under this attentional condition, the visibility did not differ, okay? On the other hand, reaction time of the central task gets modulated. And this is just, sort of a simple, check of the attentional engagement of the task itself. Right? If you are doing the very easy task, then it's easy to respond. So it's easy to respond. So the reaction time is fast here. But if the task is difficult, then reporting T or N or Z takes longer time. It's roughly like 60 or 50 milliseconds difference. It's a substantial difference. And then finally, they found that the neural correlates of the attention modulation. And each of the dots here is the individual subjects. So here he found one subject that was a bit strange in terms of overall activation, but other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects, all of them pretty much produced a B1 fMRI response that is stronger under the location where the object was presented compared to the random scrambled location. So there is something additionally happening depending on whether the presented stimulus forms the objects or not. And that level of object level processing is stronger when you're paying attention, your attention is not demanded a lot at the center, low load condition, but when your attention is completely sucked up by the central task, like a conjunction of T and N in black and white color, then even B1 that just possibly receives the information from I to the LGN to B1, that cannot do this additional processing. And this additional processing all happen during the CFS. So meaning that, the difference between this to that, okay, is under the invisibility, but something that happened due to the attentional availability. And note that, here, subjects were not paying attention to the stimulus itself. It's just, whether the subjects were paying attention to the central stimulus in a strong manner or weak manner. And that already changed how the stimulus is processed in the periphery. Okay. So in summary, this Bahadur's experiment uses CFS, and then participants could not tell the difference in the object locations, or didn't have any idea that the object was even presented. Okay, and the attention load manipulation confirmed that reaction time on the central letters did manipulate attention, and then under this situation, V1 activity is higher under the low load condition compared to the high. So that means that the spatial attention may have spilled over to the periphery and interacted with the invisible stimuli, enhancing the neural activity within P1. Okay, but this spilled over attention was not sufficient to make things visible. It enhanced the processing, but it didn't become strong enough to sufficiently break the suppression in a sense. So what can we conclude from all these experiments? That's the next thing.